Hello, everyone. Happy Tech Talk Tuesday slash mic check slash birthday celebration slash special edition of Tech Talk Tuesday. This is Michael Damon here with you on this Tuesday, as always, and I have some special guests with me in today. Of course, Michaela's here with me. Michaela, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. And then I brought on my cousin slash DJ for this conversation because we talking about technology and music. So he goes by Bruce Black, but he's in here with his government name today, Raymond Neal. What's up, cousin? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
It's your first episode of Tech Talk.
This is my first episode of Tech Talk. I feel privileged.
Awesome. So, hey, everybody, today we are going to have some fun, number one. And we're going to talk about a couple things that I really love. One of them being music, the next one being technology, and the third one being just creativity. So this conversation was inspired by the STEM player, which I'll be sharing with you today and talking about. Because when I saw this, I immediately I got to send this over to Ray, get his thoughts, see what he thinks about it and all that good stuff. And it led to the point where we had such a good conversation about it through text message that I'm just like, you know what? This is about to be our topic for Tech Talk Tuesday. So we talking about that today. So I know this is a little unorthodox from what y'all used to. Don't worry, we got time. We'll get back to that stuff. If you're in the Bond to Build community, we have all the courses and stuff being added there. So just a quick reminder for anybody who's a Tech Talk Tuesday watcher, remember that we have our own private community. It's called bondtobuild.com. That's where all of my marketing courses, my tutorials, if you need technical support, all of that stuff is going to be from now on offered inside that group. So just go to bondtobuild.com to get your membership, and that's where you can get access to our team for some technical support. So let's go ahead and talk about our topic today, and that topic is going to be this STEM player. Now, I figure what I'll do, just so that you kind of have some background on okay, Mike, what on the world are you talking about? I'm going to pull up the video. We're going to watch this, and then we're going to come back and have a conversation about what we just saw, okay? So let me pull up this video for you real quick. All right, so this here is the STEM player. This looks like one of those little speaker peel type things. What's that one that Google makes? Do you know the name of the Google one? Is it Nano or something? You know?
I didn't know Google made one.
Google makes one too. We have one here, but it's collecting dust.
Oh, okay.
but this is probably the reason why, because it's a speaker and it plays music and stuff, but it don't do what this one do. So this is called the STEM player. It looks like it's a collaboration between Yeezy Tech, which is Kanye West company, and someone named Kano. I'm not sure if that's the manufacturer or not. But what looks like a regular speaker is actually I don't even know how to describe it. How would you describe this, Ray? Do you have a word for it yet?
Oh man, it's kind of, for me, I just call it like a handheld music player.
Okay,
it's like a like a handheld music player.
So it's and I'm gonna show y'all why we're confused and why it's can be so many different things. So let me play this video for you, and I want you to take a couple things in consideration as I'm playing this. So I'm gonna click play. This STEM player ships with Kanye West's, I don't know if it's the next or the one that I don't know if it's out yet, called Donda, his album.
Donda 2.
Donda 2. Okay. And is it out already?
No, this is the only way you can get it now.
Okay.
Right now, it's only on the STEM player.
Okay, cool. So that's one of the things that really got me from a business perspective, is thinking about how it created this exclusivity by making that album available only through this thing. The other part of this, which is so genius to me, is the fact that it takes, to me, I think the music industry it kind of busts that open even more. It's already going through so many different shifts because of the way that stuff is being distributed nowadays. You have social media playing a part in making music trendy and all that. But now the music is put into the hands of the people to play around with, get creative with. And this is the part that's pretty cool. So I'm going to click the play button. You're going to hear some music playing. I want you to keep in mind that when you see hand gestures moving across this thing that looks like a speaker, know that the person who's holding it is actually controlling what we hear. I think that's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and play, make sure we got some sound going here.
No trouble, left me home. No trouble, left me home. No trouble, left me home. Back again, I use my back against the wall. Never caught on y'all, never count on y'all, always count on God. Back again, I use my back against the wall. Never caught on y'all, never caught on y'all, never count on y'all, always count on God. He's done miracles on me. 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 He's done miracles on me.
Okay. All right. Before we get a little copyright strike going on or something, we're going to stop that screen share.
You did right enough seconds.
Right.
29 seconds.
Initial thoughts, someone.
Oh man, this is my first time seeing that video. So I had seen it before they released it. My son's on the other side, so he'll probably hear me. But I was looking at getting that for my son. I was like, he might like this. It wasn't released yet, so I couldn't. I didn't see it that it did that. So I'm even much more amazed than I was before. You can do all those echo. I mean, if I showed you what I would have to do those sounds with my mixer, my mixer is this big. It's all kinds of buttons, and yeah, this is one handheld thing. It's bananas.
Crazy. Crazy. Any thoughts, Kayla?
I'm gonna have to find a way to get it. That's the only way to listen to the album. I might have to invest.
Yeah. I mean, like so, you know, because of the music, the technology, just like the fact that, you know, as people, we have our hands and we have the ability to create things with our hands. But when have we ever, outside of playing an instrument, been able to create music like that? Like, that's the part that's crazy to me. You know, Ray being a DJ talked about the equipment that he has to have. And then I'm just like, the stuff that they were doing with one hand, you know, and the other thing to take in consideration, like, it's not just that album. So I was reading and I'm like, okay, so can you only do that with certain songs that are set up a certain way? And apparently not. Any music that you play on there, when you make those adjustments, they call those stems. Now, I saw a video a couple months ago of Kanye West with it's from a guy from a Chicago radio station. I can't remember his name.
Big boy. LA. I think there's LA station.
LA? Okay. Yeah. LA station. Yeah. And I saw them with this box thing, you know, and they were playing on. I'm just like, okay, so it's DJ equipment. What's so special about this? Had no idea we were looking at like the precursor to this stem player that was coming out. Right. So, man, I was just kind of blown away. And when I shared that with Ray, it started going on to all these different conversations about, like, you know, I think about people getting those, you know, they making TikToks, they making video reels, and they're just like, that's going to become a thing. I think, you know,
there's no way for it not to. There's no way. Yeah, it's no way for it. I mean, this is just so what I see him doing is he introduced this piece of technology that is a tool for creativity, and with that in your hand, and any song you want, any song you can add to this thing, and I'm not sure exactly how that happens, if it's via Bluetooth or you have to down. I'm not sure.
Bluetooth, I saw.
There's got to be some kind of plug on it where you can plug it in and charge it or something. So it's got to be some kind of way. Yeah. But to be able, if I can send songs from my phone to that thing and be able to chop it up like that, that's, I mean, to say amazing is it's really kind of an understatement.
Mhm.
There's been nothing like that. I
Yeah.
mean, it's been a lot of. I just pulled this out. This was my stem player that I had. This is.
Oh, so is stem player a normal term?
It's not really. This was
Okay.
like one of the first pieces that were kind of cheap that you had to have some software for.
Okay.
But you know, I had to have software and a mixer to hook this up into. Right. So this is not just standalone. I can't just be pressing buttons. I'm doing this, but nothing without it plugging into something is useless.
Okay.
So the fact that he's created something that essentially allows you to remix songs on the fly, any way you want to. Take out the bass, take out the drums, take out the guitar, add echo, filter. I mean, that's in your hand. I've never seen nothing like that before. And maybe I'm, naive, but I don't know.
That's crazy to me. I'm just sitting there thinking, like, what in the world is going on? So now that makes me think about like the industry itself. Like music over the past decade has been going through a lot of shifts, and as far as how people receive their music. So do you think that like they are going to be like, I'm just kind of wondering, like, how the music companies are about their music being redistributed or being modified, like, but how in the world can you control millions of people who have the access to do something like that now? You can't.
Yeah, I think it's always been about whether or not you do that and you play it.
Okay. For money?
For money. So like as a DJ, in some places, I think in other countries, you need to have like a cabaret license. Well,
Okay.
you have to have a cabaret license in general, but like you can get in trouble for playing music without that cabaret license. The cabaret license, from what I understand, goes to back to the record industry to some kind of way. For instance, Twitch.
Okay.
Twitch allows me to DJ. I can DJ on Twitch. I can do it on Twitch, but only live. When it records it, but when it records it, it cuts out things that are copywritten. So out of a 2-hour set, you may only be able to hear 30 minutes of whatever I play, and it's never going to be a full song unless it's some original music.
Oh.
So that's how it works. So they cut that in general, that's how that works. Now that Mixcloud is out, Mixcloud has a similar thing with Twitch, but you pay a monthly fee and you can get your stuff recorded and it won't get cut out.
Okay.
So basically it records to their website and then people can listen to it later. But it's also live visually too. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a copyright issue unless people are using it to like, and people will use it, use it in performances. And what are you going to do?
I forgot about that.
If you can connect that to a microphone or to a input into something, you have essentially. I mean, I think you like took away like a 50 pound worth of equipment. If people are going to get really good with this thing.
I think so too, and I'm just kind of like, this kind of opens up a whole new lane for like people of influencers on social media in a way. Like I can see people kind of building from that, and imagine then you start singing on top of that. You know what I mean?
Why wouldn't you?
Interesting.
Why wouldn't you? If there's a song that you love the music and the vocals you want to sing over, you want to do something over the vocals, you can do that now. I mean, you could always do it with the technology, but you needed a computer to do that.
Right. So for anyone who may be just joining, we started this conversation, talking about a couple things that are dear to my heart, which is music and technology. And we were playing the stem player video, which is this new piece of equipment that's coming out that allows you to control the music that you play, manipulate it, take out bass, take out sound, turn certain parts up. Pretty cool. So if you're coming in and you're wondering like, what in the world is this marketing tool that they talking about? It's not per se. It's this thing that I have up on the screen here. So let's talk a little bit about the price point. That was one of the things we talked about, $200. Now, in my perspective, the way that I'm kind of viewing this, to me, to be able to spend $200 to get the ability to create in this way, that seems like a steal to me. Now, what are some of your thoughts? I know, like for you as a DJ, like I would imagine to do this, you need thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
Yeah, you need a computer first.
Okay.
A computer that has the software on it that allows you to do this, and you have to know how to operate it. So there's all kinds of curves, money, time, knowledge that puts you before you can even use something like this. And when you add the price of a computer, which unless you spec out your own, unless you create your own PC, it's going to be a Mac, because Mac is the only one that usually comes ready to play like that for stuff, for that kind of software.
Okay.
You add some hardware into that, that could go anywhere from, $300 to $1,000, $1,500. I mean, depending on what you add. This is basically like an MPC. So, it doesn't have a drum machine. That's the only thing you're missing. But if you have a drum machine, you tie that with it. And you mentioned marketing. I don't see why people would not use this for marketing.
What do you mean? Tell me more.
Well, like, if you are doing something on TikTok or something, and you have some music you want to use, it looks like you can loop stuff. So you can loop if there's a 4-bar measure in a song that you like, you can loop it.
Okay, I see.
And it won't necessarily, unless people know, it might not get picked up and get blocked. Like we were talking about, like you better stop playing it before they cut you off.
Right.
If you loop it, I think you could probably get away with that to something. I mean, that's essence of what hip hop was. Hip hop was always taking things and chopping it up and making something new. So this is like he's added another layer onto like this creation game that hip hop kind of pushed in continuation of things like jazz, like our R&B and jazz. Those are the things that started all that kind of stuff. Well, blues really, but yeah, this thing is for $200. Yeah, that's a steal for me, man.
Yeah, I saw some people complaining about it. It's like, who can afford that? Who can do that? I'm just like, people spend a lot more. Like, you think about a phone, and you think about some of the other stuff that people spend money on. I'm just like, if you're a creative person, especially, and just to be able to kind of have this kind of tech, like this would, I think even some of those speakers can be like $100 some sometimes.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So to me, to be able to kind of not just play sound, but then to be able to interact with it is like super cool to me. Another thing that you mentioned yesterday when I sent this to you, you talked about like the school systems and education and how cool it would be if something like this was put in the hands of students. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's really no other option for us as people is for us to allow young people to have opportunities to be creative is like that's paramount for your development. You play the instrument, how much that supported your thinking and how you grew to be who you are.
Right.
Who I am I wouldn't be the same without music. I mean, it's all these records behind me. Like this is a part of it, right? And I think with them cutting things out of schools, like schools are essentially places where folks are just trying to some degree, make sure that people are math and science whizzes, which is not what this is all about. Our life is the richness of our world comes from creativity, and I think this is something that if we allow students to have, young people to have this in their hand, I mean, they would take it to another place. They always do.
Always do.
And this can happen. $200 is such a small price point. You couldn't tell me that you couldn't talk with Yeezy Tech and Kano if you had a business or a nonprofit to buy so many and put them in the hands of young people.
Right.
And create a program off of that. Come every day, we're going to practice this. We're going to do this. I'm going to put you can put put anything on this thing. If you can put anything on this, you can put anything on this.
Right. Anything with sound, right?
Anything with sound.
I didn't even think about all the educational opportunities that creates.
It opens it up, man. It opens it up. It opens it up in a way where you use media to educate. Because young people are being educated by media now anyway, whether we want to or not. So why wouldn't we give them the tools to do it? That's my only issue with the price point is that, it's really going to be adults and other like people who buy $300, $400 sneakers, not me, who buy things like this. So that's kind of my issue, but I understand that you have to kind of
start out.
You have to because he's a billionaire, so he don't have to. He could probably get away for $1 and still make money on it. But who knows what Kano technology is. I think Kano makes the skin because I'm looking at their website and it looks like they make skins and things like that for these sorts of things. But their stuff is really cheap, like $30 mouse. I think I've seen a $30 flexible webcam. that you USB, so like I think $200 is like an intentional like lower price point. Because realistic for this technology, man, I mean, yeah, I'm a little blown away, so excuse me if I can't really speak about it.
No, I think you're, and that's why I wanted you on here, because I thought your perspective would be cool, coming from the education background, coming from like being a DJ. And all three of us here were lucky enough to have creativity and arts. Because honestly, I don't know that I would have enjoyed school without music, like without band. Kayla was in, you had theater, musical theater.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So we all kind of had that. And that's really what made me look forward to going to school each day. It wasn't about the classes.
Right.
But now a lot of schools have eliminated that stuff. And it's just like, what did you replace that with?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Police.
Okay. Now there's your $200 right there. How many of these could you buy if you kind of alter that budget a little bit? All right.
Right.
So this was interesting to me. I wanted to have that conversation too, because it's like, it also reminded me of JoJo Pa. If you're out there watching, she talks oftentimes about like us as people getting back to like our natural ways. And one of them was about being more creative in our life and the way that we work, viewing work differently. People starting to value work differently. They're more concerned about like, how can my work add more value to the world rather than just, working to get it. People want more fulfillment from the things that they're doing, and I think that's one of the things the pandemic kind of made people stop and think about. So, I think all of that together is what really kind of just made this so interesting to me, is to just see all these worlds collide. And I just wanted to talk about it. I had to bring it here and talk about it. So,
yeah, happy belated birthday, man.
Thank you very much. I am 47, not 46. So funny story is, y'all, I spent all last year thinking I was 45 and I wasn't. That's the shortest story. Until I
need you to keep it right, man, because I gauge my age off everybody else, because I forget too. So 2 years older than you, that's how I know how old I am.
Yeah. So we got a comment here. Loretta Camp. What's up, Mom? She's watching from YouTube. I think $200 is a good price for her. Mike, she is not a big spender. Oh man, I have to tell this story, Mom. I'm sorry. So we went to breakfast once, y'all. Now, my mom don't go out to eat much, and we got her to go out for Mother's Day. And we went out to breakfast, and the bill came right. So it was probably about, you remember, Kayla? It was 4 of us or 5 of us?
5.
5 of us, and I think the bill might have, on average,
no. It's like 4, actually. I think it's
okay,
4. Like
$20-some a person on average. And we were like, oh, we got it, no worries. She was like, for eggs?
I could have made this at home.
Yeah, that was so hilarious. But thank you for allowing us to do that. But yeah, she's not a big spender on that. So I can imagine she being there, how they used to be with the record. She still be playing her old school jams.
I still got records behind me with Loretta Campbell name on it.
Do you? Ooh, time for a trip.
It wasn't my fault. I found them in the collection. That's her brother's fault.
We'll blame her brother for that. That's funny. I'm sure she's gonna want to know which ones now too. Look at that. Ray bust itself out.
She got to come here and get them though, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I won't see her till the summer, so
let you have them then. What up? My brother's here. This is a whole family affair tonight. Darrell is on here tuning in.
What's up, fam?
Aquarius season. That's us. What's up? Yes. I didn't realize how many of us were out here. And then talking to JoJo Pa again, she was telling me as an Aquarius, I'm an earth sign, meaning like we're grounding people. And like, I was just like, oh, I never knew that, but that makes a lot of sense. Because I used to wonder oftentimes, like, and I don't mind it, but a lot of people just feel comfortable sharing stuff with me. It's like, oh, you make me feel at ease and all this other stuff. And I never understood why. But it's in the stars. That's what it is.
It's in the stars.
Another family. My Aunt Linda here. How you doing? Welcome. All right, cool. She said, don't make fun of me. I'm not. I had to share that story. It was just so funny. So she loved your album collection. All right, people. So thank y'all for allowing me to do this little special birthday episode edition of Tech Talk. I really was fascinated by the STEM player and just wanted to talk about it with my cousin. Got Michaela here with me. So we were impressed by it. I just wanted to come and share it and just kind of introduce it to you and open up the door for some conversation. I know I'm going to be, I want one.
I want one too.
That could be my birthday gift, right?
You get one, let me know. and I can make sure I get one, and we can do a little jam session. Maybe that'd be the next tech talk. Be one of the
Right,
tech talks.
right. We're gonna figure it out. So
We go halfsies on it.
You're right. All right, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in for the episode. I want to thank my guests, my cousin Raymond, Bruce Black, for tuning in and joining us in the virtual studio. Michaela, thank you for working behind the scenes and making us look all good here in the studio. For everybody, Tech Talk Tuesday, we'll be back again next week. I think we're going to talk about Calendly. So last week, I sent an email out about my automating my schedule. I was wasting. I'm not going to say I was spending so much time. I was wasting so much time scheduling meetings, consultations, appointments. And then I found Calendly and automated it. You use it? You familiar? Life changer. I'm just like, I ain't never got to go on.
Show up in your calendar. Be like, oh, I got to do that. Set the time available. Oh man, yeah, it's great.
The best. So I'm gonna put a link down in the comments on this video. And then next week we'll cover that because I know a lot of you are asking me like, Mike, how do I set up this and how do I set up that? So, for you gifting me the time to share this STEM player with you today, I'm going to do an in-depth Calendly training tutorial next week. We'll do that next week on Tech Talk. So I have to go pack. I'm going to San Diego tonight for a wedding. Go have fun while I'm out there. And I look forward to seeing y'all next week. All right. Take care, everybody. You're welcome.
Later, family.
Peace.